The Super Mario Galaxy movie is almost here, and Nintendo has been revealing more and more to join Mario and friends with this exciting new adventure. But did you know that they've been sharing a lot about potential upcoming games, with the recent post of Star Fox being in the Super Mario Galaxy? Now this is great in many different ways, because the last time we've seen a Star Fox game was all the way back in 2018, with the Star Fox game with the little toys. Now, honestly, that game was pretty cool. It definitely innovated on the franchise as a whole, but I don't overly believe it sold that great. The other time we saw it was also in 2018 within Super Smash Bros. And besides that, we haven't seen the light of Star Fox ever again. But until now, that is. The Super Mario Galaxy movie is bringing friends, family, and characters together. So what's going on, everyone? How's your day going? Let's get straight into the video. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up is I find it a little weird that Nintendo would do this. Now, we've already seen other characters make their way to the Super Mario Galaxy movie that haven't necessarily been in the universe of Mario. But that leads you to believe, why didn't Nintendo call the Super Mario Galaxy movie to the Nintendo Galaxy movie? Because it definitely would have made sense in that regard. But now that we're seeing Star Fox, we're seeing Rob the Robot, maybe it's time to see some brand new games. Because of course, every Nintendo fan out there wants brand new games. And honestly, what makes a deserving Nintendo console even greater is games. Now we know that we're most likely not going to be seeing a 2D Mario game this year. Same thing goes with Mario Party and every single game that got a Nintendo Switch 2 edition. Because technically what those imply is when you get a Switch 2 edition, we have nothing for you. So you just hope that your favorite franchise doesn't see the light of day until there's a brand new release. But this hasn't seen the light of day in many years. It's been almost 9 years since the last Star Fox game, which is kind of crazy when you really think about it. So in that, I would say maybe Nintendo's onto something. Maybe we are going to be seeing the next Star Fox game. And I honestly think that it definitely could be true. Now, of course, I am not the biggest fan of Star Fox. In fact, I believe I've only played 1 or 2 games. But I do believe that there's a lot of you out there that want to see Star Fox and want to see the next game. And I honestly agree with you, because maybe it's time for this series to shine once again, which is honestly really great. And the Super Mario Galaxy movie could tease this, because technically with the Super Mario Galaxy movie, the original Super Mario movie, they technically teased 2D Mario because the Mario Wonder necessarily wasn't released or announced before that movie actually came out. So in some ways it did tease Mario Wonder with all the weird dimensions and the 2D levels that you were essentially doing, but more like in a 3D world. So I honestly wouldn't put it past them that, hey, they could be teasing the next Star Fox game. Because honestly, if you got rid of the Super Mario Galaxy movie logo, I wouldn't think that it would be a Super Mario Galaxy movie sort of character design. I would think it would be more for a brand new Star Fox game. Because it doesn't really look like the movie art style, but more of like a cartoony sort of game design in some way. Now I could be completely wrong how I see this, but this is just personally how I see this. But overall, I think that Nintendo definitely could have announced or leaked the next sort of game, which honestly, this is great. I'm really excited to see what is next for the Super Mario Galaxy movie. I can't wait to watch the movie because right now it's looking great. And there's probably going to be a lot of other things that Nintendo could reveal during this movie. So far, we haven't seen a Nintendo Switch 2 edition of Super Mario 3D. So maybe they're going to go ahead and do some more like 3D Mario stuff. Or maybe they're going to do something else. Because as soon as we get a Switch 2 edition, you got to keep that in mind. As soon as we get a Switch 2 edition, it means that they might be working on the game, but we're most likely not going to be seeing that franchise for a long time. So keep that in mind. The next time that you're really excited for a Switch 2 edition to release, you got to remember what it took for that to get here. Now, of course, Nintendo did announce that between wait periods, they are going to make Switch 2 editions. So that does make sense. But again, sometimes it takes a long time. Like, there's definitely a lot of Switch 2 editions that probably would take at least a year of development. Like, if you looked at Super Smash Bros., the character design takes longer than, in fact, the level and scaling gameplay, which is honestly really cool and really interesting when I took a look at this. I was kind of shocked that this was actually a thing, that the character and the design and fighting actually takes longer than the design of the levels and every game mode, essentially, which is like, wow, that's kind of cool, I guess, and kind of weird in the same time. But yeah, do you think that we are going to be seeing a Star Fox game return? Because personally, I think that the Mario Galaxy movie just did it. Just announced this before Nintendo even announcing it or revealing it, which is honestly pretty crazy. But also, this could be just like, well, it's Star Fox is making its way because it's Galaxy. Star Fox is essentially Galaxy. But there definitely could be a lot of things. Like, this could be like an open world Star Fox game, or it could be a Star Fox game that you go from one galaxy to the next galaxy, and it's kind of like Mario Galaxy, but not really Mario Galaxy, but like a Star Fox game. Overall, that definitely would be really, really creative and an interesting game. But overall, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think about this. Do you think that Star Fox is returning, or maybe not? Anyways, thank you so much. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and see you in the next one.